Don't forget to share with the Facebook people.
Yes. Hey, y'all. Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, y'all.
We're all on here now. You have joined us here at the Smile, Empower, Thrive show, the Setup show. And we're talking with entrepreneurs. We're talking with multi-passionates that have jumped into either an entrepreneur industry or have jumped into just allowing their life to be smile worthy, to be empowered so that they could thrive forward. And so we're like, I'm excited, and y'all know I'm just an excitable kind of person. And what I want to do is share this out with the world. So I was waiting for us to go live so I could put this out in the world of Facebook and everything else so that others can see this. But listen, let me tell y'all something. I know every week I say, I'm so excited. I do. I say that every week. I say it every week, right? So listen, we're going to tell people that we are live right now. I'm posting this out there. We are live so folks can come out here and join us. But listen, I say I'm excited every week. I'm excited this week, y'all. I'm excited this week. So I know you came today because we're talking about getting and keeping what we have coming to us, getting our money, collecting our money, keeping our money, and not just our money, because sometimes it's about your goals. You collecting on your goals. That's a whole other thing. And so today, for those of you that are not familiar with me, I am Myra J. Stepter. I am the chief smile producer of Myra J. Stepter International and the Empowered Smiles Collective. And what I do, I'm a holistic mindset strategist. I'm a spiritual life coach. I'm a person that believes that if you know that you have greatness in you, you should fully embody that greatness. And sometimes it's really just a mindset shift. Sometimes you got to reframe your thinking. You've got to reset some stuff. You've got to release some things that are no longer serving you, and you have to heal. And so we walk through that journey. But on this particular show, on the Setup show, I already told you, I talk with entrepreneurs and multi-passionates about what it is that they're doing, how they bring their smile to the world, how they empower others and even empower themselves and choose to thrive. So one thing that we do, you guys, when we start off the show is we go into, now you guys, those of you that are familiar, this is the Mirror Affirmations book. This is my affirmations book. Excuse me. Reflections journal. And usually I do it almost like random order. And I was doing it just whatever came up in each one, back to back. But I decided we were going to do this a little differently. We're going to let God decide what is the affirmation of the day. So I'm just going to, I cannot even. Y'all. Now y'all saw me with the book closed, right?
Yeah.
And the book and I fanned through it. I can't make sense. I cannot even pretend.
I receive the flow of financial abundance. How about that? Look at God. Confirmation. I love it. Yes.
I cannot make this up. Yes. So today's affirmation, I receive the flow of financial abundance.
Yes. Absolutely.
I love affirmations, and I talk about affirmations on a regular basis, but I also talk about the fact that you have to reflect on those affirmations. You have to do the work of those affirmations. You have to position yourself so that that affirmation can become true, because otherwise you're just saying them every day.
Just talking.
Yeah, you're just talking. And there are a lot of us out here that are just talking. There are us out here that would see this affirmation and say, I receive the flow of financial abundance, and then sit still and not do anything.
Yeah, and I don't even understand that, because if you're gonna do that part, then you miss the part of the scripture that says faith without work is dead. So
now listen, what you're not gonna do is step on our toes already.
I'm coming for them. Look here. Put them up here so I can do it real quick.
Oh, you're stepping on our toes already. You said, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and come on in the room.
Let's come on in the room.
And if we're gonna be in the room, we might as well be in the room.
if you're gonna be in the room, let's look here. If you're gonna jump, just get in here. So as one of my good people, get in here. So
right. If you're gonna be in here, then be in here, right?
So I received the flow of financial abundance, comma, faith without works is dead. Because you can't receive the flow of financial abundance if you don't have any faith and you don't plan to do any work. So let's just do the little triangle, because you got to do both. You got to have the faith, you got to have the works, and you got to receive it. To your point, Coach Myra, you got to have a change in mindset for sure. But you also have to understand, while you're working on your mindset, you physically have to do some work. This is not Lucky Charms magically delicious. It's gonna be like that little thing just pops up and just says poof. No, this ain't how this works. No,
life doesn't come with fuzzy marshmallows.
No, you have to work, and to bring your toes. Listen, let me tell you something. Go get some Epsom salt and go get some warm water and just put your toes in there and just sit there and get your little bubble bath. Just go on it.
We just need to go ahead and start. Just put our toes in there.
You're gonna need it when we finish. But listen, you will not forget this. I promise you this, because listen, because you cannot believe, operate in this belief system of you're just going to receive this without doing any work. And unfortunately, there's been a lot of people that are speaking. I can't think of what the prophetic word is, but speaking basically, oh yeah, if you just do the affirmations, this comes. Well, that's like I Dream of Jeannie. Well, I Dream of Jeannie was a TV show.
Right. Listen. I Dream of Jeannie was a TV show. It was a TV show.
It was a TV show. But seriously, I understand the challenge of, you want to receive financial abundance, you want to be financially abundant, you want to be successful. I get that, and you're supposed to. But anybody that you admire that is successful, they will tell you, whatever your name is, went to work. We just celebrated the beautiful life of Kobe Bryant. And why did we celebrate the beautiful life of Kobe Bryant? Because of what he said, the Mamba mentality, which was
because he worked. He worked.
Now, did he receive his financial abundance and did he flow in it? Absolutely. But he worked.
He worked. He worked to get that.
Exactly.
He made himself worthy of that. He worked to become the person that was designed to receive that. And that's all, that mentality, that mindset. It's about, you've got to decide, if I'm going to receive this flow of financial abundance, I'm going to become the person that is designed to receive it. Because maybe the person that you are right now isn't designed to receive it. So what work do I need to do? What position do I need to put myself into? What people do I need to be around so that the flow is able to come to me? And in addition to that, it is okay to know that you're not ready for it right now. It's kind of like this. When we were 5 years old, there were things our parents taught us at age 5 that they knew you got to grow up a little bit to get this next thing. So like when you turned sweet 16, you got celebrated, you went and got the driver's license and some other things, because then you had demonstrated over a period of time, I'm ready to be sweet 16. I'm ready to go get my learner's driver's license, and I can show mom and dad I'm gonna be responsible with your car, because I'm old school. So you had to show responsibility, or you didn't get to drive the car. You didn't just get to do that. Right. But here's the other thing: if you are planning to be successful, because here's to your point, you said you have to make a decision. So I want to tell people this: in order to do anything in life, business, finances, you have to make a decision, and then you have to manage that decision. Let me say you have to make the decision, and then you have to manage it. And what that means is, all right, you say, for example, I want to get out of debt. Okay, well, that's a great decision. But number one, how much debt are you in? Let's just call it what it is. Didn't I tell y'all get your Epsom salt and some bubble bath and put your feet in there? Y'all need to put your feet. I promise y'all, put your feet in there. Get your bubble bath. I'm telling you, basic, seriously. But if you want to get out of debt, you have to know how much debt are you in. That's step one. Step two, you got to write it down.
Step 3, you got to figure out, okay, if I'm in $10,000 worth of debt and I have a plan to be debt free by 2020, well, we're in the 3rd month of the year. So now you've got you have 8 months,
right,
divided by $10,000 to figure out how much money you got to pay every single month to get this done. And then you have to decide that I'm worth being debt free. So I'm going to manage my decisions, and my actions are going to follow suit. And then I'm going to do the following. And I'll be able to, this time next year, I'll be able to say, hallelujah, I'm debt free. And I made my decision, and I can take out that Epsom salt, because Dee got my feet burn. My feet already hurt.
My feet are burning.
My feet hurt.
Now listen, okay, so look, I'm gonna pause you right there, because listen, you're already stepping on our toes.
I know. I'm talking them up a little bit with the Epsom salt and some bubble bath.
You already got the hot coals lit.
Oh, baby.
You came in here saying, I'm just gonna go ahead and light the coals ahead of time. So you might want to put your feet in the Epsom salt, put them in some ice, because we're about to walk all over these hot coals. So listen, let me tell y'all this. When the first time that I heard Dee Bowden, right? Bowden. See, I was gonna say Bowden, and I was like, I'm gonna say Bowden. Bowden. The first time I heard Dee Bowden, we were in it was a group of entrepreneurs at a summit, and
last fall.
Last fall, and we were all online with our toes crunched up like this, sitting in our various places around the world, listening like, oh, this is painful. Oh, this is painful, because the information was so good, and it was so on point for entrepreneurs and even people in general that don't think about finances in totality. Mm-hmm. And so I was one of those people like, I don't think I've ever thought of my business like that. I don't think I've ever thought of it coming from, and I'm going to let you share that with us in just one second, coming from the other side of it. We always think about it from the side of get money, or no, not get money, bill money, let me invoice, and not thinking of it from the other side of things. And so I was so impressed by that, and so challenged by it as well, because I was sitting back going, man, I'm gonna need those toes when she's done. Go get my money. So listen, I want to share your bio with the people, because just in case they haven't read it on any of the posts or anything, want to share it with the people. So Dee Bowden founded BCS Solutions, a revenue recovery company. We'll talk about that in a second. Revenue recovery. You gotta get your money.
Get your coins.
Yeah. From a personal desire to see small businesses make big money impact. Dee believes small businesses fall prey to revenue loss because of poor accounting strategies. That's why she's on a mission to help them grow their financial bottom line by sharing her 5-step program to revenue recovery. In fact, with over 10 years of financial experience, Dee has collected, catch this, y'all, because I know people like numbers. She has collected over $20 million for several companies and government agencies. She knows the money, okay? Dee was featured also in Black Enterprise magazine in the article Sealing the Money Leaks: 5 Ways to Secure Your Cash Flow. Along with her success in financial management, Dee was featured in Thrive Global magazine in the article Money Matters. Dee Bowden helps entrepreneurs achieve financial peace. Don't you need some peace in your money? Come on.
Yes.
Ambassador and digital facilitator for Success Women's Conference, which featured Ayanna Van Zant and Gloria Mayfield Banks, 2 powerhouse women. Absolutely. In 2019, and in 2018, featuring Robin Roberts from Good Morning America and Lisa Nichols. She does not hang out with slouchy people. She helps people get money, and that puts her, listen, doesn't it say that your gifts will make room for you?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. Okay. And sit you amongst kings? Oh, okay. We'll
yeah. Look here. Where's the offer? Let me throw it at you real quick.
I'm just saying, look, that's in the word. Now, listen, y'all. Dee is also a co-author in the Entrepreneurial Elevation 31 Strategic Lessons and Business Stories from Purpose-Driven Entrepreneurs. Look at that right there. Listen, Entrepreneurial Elevation.
Yes.
That we got to get it together. So listen. I keep saying I'm gonna go get an applause track, get a crowd sound, because when I introduce people on the channel, I am genuinely excited, like a stadium. I'm like,
I love that.
Like, I want an applause track because listen, it goes deeper than just what the bio says. The bios are great. It goes deeper than that. A lot of times when you see who people are connected to and you watch how they show up for their business and show up for others in their business, then that allows you to get a better idea besides the bio. Like, the bio is great. You know, the bio is like, oh yeah, okay. You know, most of the time we're listening to our bio going, who is that? Was that me? I don't know.
Who is that math person? Who's that math person?
But when you can see from a person's light and how they shine in the world that the things on the bio are true and more, that's important. That's important. And even in the way that you are in business and the way that you speak so passionately about what you do. That is one of the reasons why I'm super excited about you being here on the show. So welcome. Thank you. Welcome. We already got into it, but we're going to get into it even more.
Don't get into it anymore. But first of all, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're listening to this fabulous talk around the world. I am Dee Bowden, the founder and CEO of S.E.T Solutions. Coach Myra J., what an honor. I'm super excited to talk to your audience and to everybody who's listening. The accolades, thank you. It's all true, but more importantly, it comes from, or it started from, if it's okay if I just kind of jump into the story.
Yes, jump on it, because I was just about to ask you, how did it start?
So how it started was this. I kind of want to use the line from Shrek. Once upon a time in a place far, far away, in a place called Boston, where I'm from, I worked for a small IT firm called Amherst Technology. And I'm sorry, Empowered Technologies with an S. And so they were a small IT firm, probably no more than, say, 100 people. So we're talking a real small company.
Yeah.
You pretty much knew everybody. Hey Joe, hey Mary, hey Sue, how you doing? Da da da.
Yeah.
So I've always been in collections and accounts receivable management and recovering money. That's kind of always been my thing. And I'll tell you how I got there in a minute. But basically, what happened was I was a collector. So I had a part-time job, and they said, we have an opening for you to come in and do collections from Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock to 8 o'clock. I'm like, cool. And they said, here's your list of accounts. The list of accounts totaled $8 million worth of sales on the books, but not in the bank, which means, listen, that means that the salespeople went out and sold IT. They sold. So if you're anywhere in the IT space, technology space, you'll get it. You understand? They either sold computers, software licenses, whatever the things that had to do with computers. So they did all of that. So they sold all that, crushed it on the sales end, on the front end, made the sale, got the contract, invoices were sent out, and the products were delivered, but nobody remembered to go check to make sure we actually got paid. So when they gave me this list of accounts, I was like, $8 million? They're old? I'm like, really? I thought it was a joke. So I tell the story every time. I tell everybody after a short prayer, because I'm a believer. I was like, God, look, this literally was my prayer. God, happened here, but you said you have not because you asked not. I need some wisdom real quick on how to figure this out. And I literally got quiet for a couple of minutes, and a thought came to me, and I was like, okay, do what you've always done. Get on the phone and find out. So I've always believed that collections is two things. It's customer service and it's problem solving. Mm-hmm. It's customer service and it's problem solving. So I took my list of accounts. I went to my desk. I'm like, okay, Let me find the name of this person. Who's the AP person? Hi, this is Dee with Amherst Technologies. I'm calling about contract number blah 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 for account number blah blah blah, and then we have these invoices at total da 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 da. Oh hey Dee, this is the part of the story that was wild. One company. Now y'all appreciate this. This is old school, but y'all appreciate. So like most people use either like QuickBooks or Excel or whatever, or Oracle or whatever you use for your accounting software. So this one company said, Dee, we have $4 million that we will pay you, but we sent you guys a notice saying we changed our billing system. You keep sending the invoices in the wrong format, so we're not paying you until y'all fix this. So I said, well, I'm not sure what happened to that notice, but could you please resend it to me so I can send it to my boss? Right. I sent this note to my boss, and she was like, "Are you serious?" I said, "Look, they said there's $4 million that will be paid if we get this reformatted. Trust and believe. In 1 week's time, they got those invoices reformatted, and $4 million came in. So I did $6 million in 60 days." Working part-time Monday through Friday on old OLD and old OWED invoices. Now, as phenomenal as that is, what drove me to create BCS Solutions was this. On October 24th, the 5th, I always get the dates mixed up, of 2005, the CEO says, listen, we need to have a chat. Now, any of y'all have a relationship of any sort, or if you work for any company, when they say,
we need to have a chat,
we need to talk, y'all know. So we all come downstairs, and he says, listen, I want to thank you all for your services. Appreciate everything you've done, but we've made an executive decision, and Amherst Technologies is closing, and you've got 30 minutes to collect your stuff and leave the building. Now, anybody who's ever worked for a corporation of any sort, y'all know how layoffs go. They don't give you this long explanation. They just kind of tell you, and you get your little box, and you walk out the door. So me and my team, we're looking at this going, we worked really hard I recovered $6 million. My other team members did as whatever. But the point was that we worked really hard to recover that much money. And I always say that there were probably more executive business decisions on why the company closed. But from the standpoint of an employee going to work and working that hard to recover that much money and going, we're out. This is 2 months before Christmas, y'all. That's the part that most people don't get. 2 months before Christmas, I'm picking myself up off the floor because I'm like,
what just happened here?
What in the LL Cool J just happened here? What?
Yes.
So after I recover, I'm like, okay, if this happened to this company, how many more companies are having the same or larger issues? Now, last year, we saw Payless Shoes, Charmin Charlie's, some of Dress Barn stores, some of Kmart stores, some of Barney stores, some of Macy's stores, New York and Company. I can't remember how many more companies. Now, listen, let me be clear when I say this. I am not saying that those companies closed because of the things I'm talking about. I'm just acknowledging that, listen, in business, there are 4 things that happen. You have sales, you have contracts, you have invoicing, which means you provide a product or a service, and you bill for it, and you get paid. Those companies that I just named had sales, contracts, invoicing, and payments. And clearly, there were some things that didn't happen really well, and some executive decisions were made at a higher level to close those stores. Well, just like in Amherst Technology, it was a small business, and my passion for small business is because I went to work for a small company. If anybody who's listening is a small company, has people that work for you, those people come to work thinking that you are managing your sales and your contracts, invoices, and your payments, so that they know that they're getting their money on whatever day.
Exactly.
I went to work thinking, hey, I got this cool part-time job. We're cool. My world got shocked 2005, just like everybody else. And then I kept looking at this saying, okay, how come the sales guys and ladies crushed it on the front end, and how come the collection people never talked? And that's when I learned the thing called disconnects. People on the sales, because they operate in silos. If anybody's in corporate America, you know you've got sales do them. They get their sales, they get their commission. Collections, you collect and you get your bonus. Okay, great. But the two never talked. And that's when I realized, okay, that has to change. And it
Yeah.
also has to be spoken about why collections, managing your accounts receivable, your invoices as a business owner is job one. You're in business to do one thing, which is make money. That's the first thing. But secondly,
Right.
you don't make money if you don't have sales and you don't have contract agreements.
Right.
Be clear.
Right.
Also
And
gotta
that's where a lot of people are. It's like they're not doing that first thing that you even said. Just get on the phone. Get on the phone. Like I've talked to so many entrepreneurs recently that are like, oh no, well, I just send this email and I do call somebody. Oh,
no. And see, and to that point, a lot of people we are so technology based. Just send the email. Just send the email. I'm old school. Now, yeah, you got to send the email, but you also got to do follow up. When you read in my bio about the millions of dollars I've collected, I didn't collect that by just doing emails. I did that by getting on the phone and building relationships. And so when I was saying earlier that collections is twofold, it's customer service and it's problem solving. In order for me to recover and receive the kind of accolades I've received in my career and in my business, I have to build relationships. And I understand, and why I'm so passionate about collections is this: I understand that most people would rather go get a root canal than go ask somebody for some money. I understand it. And because because of the misconception about collections is that most people think of collections, they think repo, the IRS, and a credit card company calling you. That's consumer debt. Now, when you're in business, it's business to business. And usually if you're not being paid, there's usually a problem, which means you as a CEO or whoever, if you have a small team, somebody needs to be engaging that customer to find out what happened. There's no way, unless there's a major snafu, there's no way that you should be having that. So the fact that former company had $8 million in sales on the books, but not in the bank, the fact that nobody thought enough to get on the phone to find out why was why I started B-Set Solutions, because I'm a problem solver. I'm what they call, I'm the why behind the what. I need to understand how do you have this much money out here and don't nobody know why it hasn't come in yet, and nobody wanted to get on the phone and ask the question. And so from that came this passion to talk about managing your invoices as a small business owner. Now I understand there's two things. I also come from the government agencies and large corporations and all that. And some of this people are like, well, I'm not there yet. You may not be there now, but my hope is that your business grows, that you will be there. And hopefully, if you're taking notes, you're learning this. Number one, there are 4 things you have to have in your business. You have to have sales, you have to have contracts, you have to have invoicing, and you have to have receivables or payments coming to you. Secondly, you got to provide a product or a service that you can sell and make sure it works. And if you've noticed, another thing you should also track, since I'm dropping knowledge, let me just go ahead and do this. Here's something you should do. Track your accounts. Now, I'm old school. I use Excel. I'm not promoting Excel. I'm just telling you what I do. Now most people got a phone. They got an app for everything. I'm sure you could probably do it on Google Docs, Google Excel, whatever. Track your accounts. You should, if you're in business, if you have accounts with other companies, you should know the name of your vendor, the contract number, who is it, how much is it for, what did you sell them, how much money are you supposed to be billing them for the month of March or April or May, and how much money is supposed to come in, and if you had a salesperson help you get that account, what's his or her name, because that person is tied to your success. They're tied to your success.
That pause. Right, take a drink, because that is so good.
Thank you.
So good. Seriously, that is so good. And even just something as simple as, who's the person you were talking to?
Yeah.
Who's the person you were talking to? Like, that hits me differently, because I just had a conversation with someone about dealing with a company years ago. And I'm the queen of, what is your name? What is your name? What is your name? What is your name? Who are you? Who am I talking to? And I used to do that because I come from a call center background. I come from sales management. I come from technology sales. Okay, so we were SaaS and hardware and a little bit of everything, right?
You understand my story 1000%.
1000%, because I know what that was like, where on the sales side, you made the sale. But your commission is tied to getting the money from the sale.
And my famous line is, the sale is not complete until the money's in the bank.
And that is so true, because I tell you, there were a number of times where, as a salesperson and as a sales manager, our bonuses were tied to, like, everybody made their regular money, but your good money came from your bonus. And the bonus didn't happen until the invoice was paid. And so then what the unfortunate side to that is that if a person's not skilled in collections, they're skilled in sales.
Right.
Not collections.
Right.
Then there's the disconnect, and it's the same thing with entrepreneurs and small businesses. You might be possibly skilled in sales, where you can finally talk about it and say, I need you to pay this money the first time. What happens is, when the person doesn't pay, they've agreed to pay. You sent them the little contract, and the invoice, and all the stuff.
Yep.
And you're like, I made a sale. You know, and you sat there and you swiped your credit card because that money's coming in. This person is going to buy, right? And then at the end of the month, or three weeks later, they haven't paid. And now on our side, like, oh, I got to call them back.
Yep.
And it stops being, I'm a salesperson, to, well, I don't know how to collect the money now. I mean, like, they should have just paid.
Right. Exactly.
And then instead of even dealing with that anymore, then you're defeated, deflated, and you're trying to move on.
Right.
You know,
and this is, I'm so glad you were confirming my story, because when I tell this story, a lot of people are like, that doesn't make sense. I don't understand this. But see, you're confirming what is true. And I tell everybody, you can Google Amherst Technology, Merrimack, New Hampshire. They don't exist. I can tell you.
Right. But I remember Amherst. So.
Well, I'm the person that works for them. So I mean, so that whole thing, and so you're right. So that whole thing about the sales. So the salespeople, like I said, so when I got the accounts receivable aging report, and it has every account, whoever they sold their software to, I'm like, you 30, 60, 90, 120 past due? I don't even understand how you do that. But that whole system broke down, and that's what made me learn about collections and about sales and about building relationships, and to create these solutions to do two things. One is to obviously I can offer collection services. I can do it for you. I can do it with you. I can train your team how to do this. And ideally, and the other part of the story, I didn't get to tell was this. I had another company. Are you familiar with value-added resellers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so so for about 3 months, I worked with another IT company, value-added reseller, that had a team of collectors. They had 5 and a CFO. Right. So they got a team of collectors. They got 45 million. You hear me? 45 million in AR with a team of 5 collectors. Now, this part of the story is different because of this. What I did differently with this team, I was only there for 3 months. What I did was called a collections roundtable. So each of the 5 collectors, I made them come sit with me, bring me your accounts, let's review this, and let me find out where are you breaking down. One of the 5 collectors, they gave him accounts to collect from the federal government and Department of Defense. Boyfriend didn't know the first thing about government contracts. He didn't know what a DODAC was. He didn't even understand the 2 forms that the government, all of that. So I'm like, okay, they would set you up to fail.
Right. Because there's a different conversation in government and in education. Government and education, sales and collections is not the same. Because
is not
30 in a lot of instances is net 60 and net 90.
exactly.
Oh,
And
Lord. Yeah, they didn't want him to get his money.
no. And so, me being me, I'm like, come on. So I sat with him and taught him how to collect. And so so in 3 months, we did 75% of the $45 million, which is 33 something $million. And I'm happy to report that from that day to this, they have never been in the red since. So now they were successful and they were able to move forward and keep going forward. Unfortunately, Empowered Technology did not. And I think I would often wonder if we had been able to figure out what the disconnects were on the sales side and collection side, could the company have stayed? I don't know. I mean, I was not part of those executives, so I have no idea. But out of that pain of losing my job 2 months before Christmas, not just me, but everybody, and then seeing other small businesses have the same issues and they're too ashamed or too scared or too whatever to raise their hand and say, look, I need help. I decided to create Visa Solutions as a consulting firm, but a teaching place, a training place. I can come in and teach your team how to collect. We can figure out the disconnects. I can offer the services for you. I can do it with you, whichever. But the other thing is that it's one of those conversations that most people, when they're in business, everybody teaches you gotta go make a sale. Okay, great. Did they teach you the part about you got to have a contract that outlines like what did you buy, what did you sell, and what are you delivering? Did they teach you how you have to bill for that? They teach you you got to pay, you got to collect for that? No. And they avoid the most important part of your business. And so when you people like for right now, we're in Q1 2020. I posted on my LinkedIn page that I said, time is running out. Don't let your past invoices leave you caught.
Woo!
Because right now everybody's focus, sell. But you have to do the whole cycle. You got to log in your contracts or your agreements. You need to know how much money you're supposed to be billing, what the product or service you sold, and when you're getting paid. Now, and I get it. Now, let me also say this. I understand that there are a lot of people that may be listening that are like, Dee, you're way up here past my pay grade, past my whatever. Okay, cool. I got you. But listen, you may not need this now.
Mm-hmm.
You may never need this. And if God blesses you that you never have to collect any past invoices, phenomenal. But listen, you do need to know what to do. You need to track your invoices. You need to identify the easy accounts and how to collect them. You need to be able to get on the phone and do the research and figure out what happened. My secret to success is also expressing gratitude. And people are like, gratitude? Yeah, gratitude. And here's why. The person on the other end of the phone is doing a job just like you, whether they're a solopreneur or whether they work for another company. It doesn't matter. If you are owed invoices from your customer, you need that person in AP to find why haven't you been paid, and you need them to push the button so you can get paid. So the respect you show them is just as important as the respect you would have done if you were doing this major PowerPoint presentation trying to get the sale.
Which is like you said, it's a disconnect. It's a disconnect because people tend to take their personal feelings into business.
Oh gosh, yeah.
When I say that, it's like, there has to be, you have to do so much hard work on the business side of educating people because there's so much disconnect on the personal side.
Yeah.
There's the, I don't want to pay those people, or they called me. Now, you may fully well owe this money.
Yeah.
But because the person called you with an attitude, I'm not going to pay them. And, when we've got so many people out here, giving misinformation about credit repair and how to pay bills off and things like that. So then people start these new businesses.
Mm-hmm.
They take that same mentality, that same information, the same mindset, and they bring it over here to the business realm. And then they get someone that is a business coach that doesn't know the full scope of things.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them, I can help you with this part of starting your business.
Mm-hmm.
What I need you to also do is get someone to help you with this part of starting a business. Because if we empowered people to not just simply rely on one person to be the full end all be all, then we could really get businesses properly set up where they're not 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line going, I really could have had a true $1 million year, but I only collected $500,000 or only collected for, or you know, like I've seen a number of coaches in the past say that they, you know, like they may put out a program and they make $50,000 a month, right? It wasn't until I got deeper into having conversations and training with people that yes, while you might have $50,000 worth of clients on the books,
it ain't in the bank.
It's not in the bank. You took a $500 deposit for this $5,000 program, but you're counting it on December when they only paid you $500 at that time. And then 3 months later, then 3 months later, they dropped out of your program, never to be heard from again. But you counted that $5,000 to say that you made that money, but you never received that money.
And you also never delivered the product either.
And you never delivered the product, right? So you can't, because they didn't pay you, you kick them out of the program, and you can't go back and get that money because your contracts don't even say that, because you weren't taught how to properly even set up your contracts to get your money.
It's all of these things. This is oh my gosh, this is so good. This is so good. This is so good because this is the stuff that a lot of people are afraid of. And I'm the first one to tell you, I am not an expert in contracts. That is not my lane. My lane is business to business, business to government. If you have told me, hey Dee, I've got a contract with a government agency and I'm having challenges getting paid, I know what to do. That's my lane. Got you all day.
Right.
If you're in the tech space, the telecommunications space, the software space, B2B, I know what to do. That's what I've done for most of my career.
Right.
And I love. And so you asked me earlier before we actually went live. You said, "Why do you love this so?" And I said, it's because number one, I love solving problems and I love making a difference. And there's something to be said when you have this knowledge that can make a difference in a business's life. Like I was sharing about the value added reseller. We need to teach those 5 people how to collect effectively, and that's what I realized. No one had ever taught them. They just gave them the accounts and said, "Go get the money." No one ever asked them, "Well, what don't you understand?" And even though they did not really enjoy the collections roundtable, I got a note from one of them a while back, and they were like, "Dee, thank you so much for what you taught us back in the day, because we have gone on and been extremely successful. It was because you took the time to get into the weeds with us to understand what we didn't know." I said, "Well, yeah, because somebody taught me that." So all I did was take what I was given and just shared it. It's just like, I think it talks about the Bible says you're blessed to be a blessing. So, if you're given a gift, you're given knowledge, skills, and abilities, you use it, and then you go and teach what you know. All I'm doing right now is teaching what I know. I'm talking about, collect the cash, manage your accounts receivable, secure your cash flow. People are like, "Why do you keep saying that?" Well, the point of it is that I don't want to see another small business go out of business because they were too scared to say, "I don't know how to collect my money." Because I'm afraid of the mess up relationship. I understand the relationship is delicate. I get that. And if that's not your bailiwick, then you need someone like me that can come alongside you and say, "Okay, what are the accounts? Where's the information? Let me get on the phone. Let me figure out what happened and work it." Now, if there are some things that are truly not correct, I will tell you, look, no, this is past what I can do. But here's what I can do. And I have as the people say, "You have receipts? Are you kidding me?" Yeah, I have receipts. You don't get featured in Black Enterprise for not having receipts. Yes.
No. Yeah. You kind of need 1 or 2 of those receipts.
A couple of them. And Thrive, and here's the other thing. Thrive Global is a part of Huffington Post. You don't get
You can't just jump on there and go,
I just did this.
No. We need to see that you can actually do what you're doing. Now, let me ask you this, because a lot of us that are entrepreneurs have a passion for something, the thing that makes us smile, the thing that we want to bring and share our smile out into the world, right? We all have that thing, right?
Yes.
And we feel motivated to go out there and do it, right? And we moments where we're like, okay, I'm encouraged. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to start this business, right? But there has to come a point in time, because I talk with a lot of entrepreneurs on a regular basis, and there are a lot of times where people are excited to start their business. They are motivated to get it going. They want the plan. Someone told them, they jumped in and made it happen, right?
Right.
And then somewhere along the line,
they hit a bump.
And all that empowerment and all that mindset stuff and all that, I can do it and I can do all things through God who strengthens me. It goes out the window, right? So for you, what are the things that allow you to choose daily to thrive in your business?
That's a great question. I love that question, and here's why. I really do. I love, like, yes, that's a good meaty question. That's like grits and some oatmeal kind of thing. Something.
With extra butter. What?
Girl, come on here. Oh my goodness, I'm hungry already.
What allows you to choose to thrive in your business? Because we all make different choices sometimes. Days
well, you remember when I said earlier, you have to make a decision, you have to manage your decision.
Yes.
That's it. You manage the decision. There's a song, I think it's by Urban James Cleveland, who said, nobody so told me the road would be easy, but I haven't come this far to be left. And I say, God. Now, every day, because here's the thing, business is a part of life. And unless you decide you're going to quit totally on life, if you think about it, you'd be quitting every day on something. Oh my gosh, girl, I stubbed my toe. Ooh, I quit. I'm out. Girl, look here. My collar didn't lay down today. Oh, I'm out.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be out every day.
Several times a day.
Behind some nonsense. And it's like, and now let's, I mean, we're having fun with this, but let's be serious. Now there are some reasons, if you in your business, if you're looking up and you're seeing that you keep hitting some of the same walls every day, every month, that might be a clue that you need some additional help.
Yes.
You might have to get a coach. You might have to go back to school. You may have to get some additional training. And so let me say, and to this point, let me say about what gets me up. This is not my first business. This is I attempted to do this same business over 10 years ago and failed miserably. I jumped out there because I know how to collect money. I didn't know the first thing about business. Let me tell you. I had a business plan and I had my little notebook and I had I'm gonna do this, and I was like, right, I don't know how to sell. Oh, I mean, I didn't know how to market. I mean, you're right. So, because a lot of us who jump out in business, it's because we've been great in something in our career, but you have to learn all the other pieces of business.
Yeah.
So the first time I did this 10 years ago, I failed miserably. I got in crazy debt. Oh my gosh. And so here's what people don't know. So I messed up miserably 10 years ago. Tried to do the business before, messed up miserably. But here's what God did for me. He was like, Dee, shut it down and go back to work. So I did. I went back.
Pause right there. Say that again.
God and the money that I wasn't making said, shut it down and go back to work. So I shut it down.
Sometimes we don't listen to that. Mm-hmm. And we get ourselves even further in
debt.
debt, trouble, all, and that's depleting.
Extremely. And and here's the thing, I was just as successful in collecting money as I am today as I was back then. There were some pieces that were missing, but I just knew, because I know how to collect money, I could do this. Anyway, I had gone to school, I did this little program, had a business plan, yada yada, jumped out here. I didn't know what I was doing, made a hot mess of stuff. But I'm so grateful. But here's the thing, what I'm proud of, I can talk about it today, which I couldn't talk about it before, was the fact that I went out there, I messed up terribly, and I had to dig out of debt, get all those debts paid off. I went back to work and I honed my skills. Now, 10 years later, I have, so when you're reading all those things in my bio about how much money I've collected, that's with government agencies, that's with, top tier corporations. I have those and have the receipts to prove it. And I went back to school, even though I already have a bachelor's degree, master's degree. I went back to school again and took a year to study business, to understand sales and marketing and operations. I'm a graduate of Steve Harvey's Act Like a Success School of Business Acceleration, the last class that graduated. Yeah, so I took another year to learn all the components of business. And this time, I am a dualpreneur. I still have a day job and I build my business while I'm working. Therein is the difference.
And there's something else that you just said there that I want to highlight. You went back and got additional education on the components that were missing.
Yes.
There are a lot of us out here that try to find the easy way.
Mm-hmm.
Try to do it the quick, fast, in a hurry way, and don't understand that the easy way for many is going back and building a new foundation.
Mm-hmm.
Because had you stayed 10 years ago in the miserable situation,
we wouldn't be here talking today. I
guarantee you.
We wouldn't be talking. And I would not have anything to show you. What people are learning from me today is the 10-year journey of me jumping out there, starting this business. The thought I knew what I was doing, all that stuff. Still got my business plan, but it's like, okay, that was then, this is now.
Right.
And here's the thing. Even though it didn't work the first time, I'm glad I at least tried. I at least wanted to see what it looked like. Because what the business not working the first time showed me, Dee, there's some pieces that you need to learn. So God showed me through love, hey, go back and get trained, go get the training on the job. If you want to teach collections, go learn this. Go get trained. So I have been in receivables management for 10 plus years. I've worked with government agencies, large corporations, small companies, etc. And I've learned all the things about collections and all that goes with that. So then, like I said, I didn't think I was going to be honest, totally transparent. I didn't think I was going to start another business. I was like, I'm really good doing my 9 to 5. I'm cool. Good. Yeah. But I was at a conference about 4 years ago, and the nudge was like, you should do this again. I'm like, no. And so I was like, I'm not doing this again. And then the nudge kept coming. So I said, okay, if I'm going to do this, I'm going back to school. So I ended up going, like I said, I went through that program to learn all the different components. And the thing is, I'm still in school.
Right. You're still learning.
And the difference is this time around, I work a 9 to 5 and I'm building the business. And the business this time is not just offering the collection services. This time it's offering training, and I speak and I share about what I've learned so that you could come away with tangible tools. I mean, I've been a part of something called Black Women Startup. And so I was one of the original trainers, and I taught on cash flow. I taught them why you need to manage your money, this was whether you need it now or in the future. The difference this time too is that I'm teaching more, I speak more, I share more. Can I collect for you on a heartbeat? That's the biggest part of it. But now it's to tell the story. It's the why behind the what. And it's like, oh. So that
once we understand why it has to be done this way, then we can make the decision on, okay, well, now that I know why I need people in place to do this, do I need to be the person doing it? Do I want to personally learn how to do this? Or do I need to just contract the services? Because there's that dual side of many of us love to be the Janes and the Jacks of all trades.
Yeah.
And some of this stuff, I tell people lately, I said, one of the things that I decided was I'm going to stimulate the economy. I really don't need to be doing everything. So that means that while I am multi-passionate, there are some things that I can do it, but it's probably going to take me twice as long.
Right.
As one that loves it.
Right. Like me.
Yeah. So like, while I can talk to somebody and say, I need you to pay this bill, I'm probably not going to get the money as quickly from this other business as let me call BCS Solutions and contract them to take this stream of accounts and boom, make this happen. And then maybe come back and teach some people. Maybe I don't have a team. Maybe I'm an entrepreneur or solopreneur that works with businesses and government entities. And I need to come to you to figure out how do I need to structure what I'm doing so that I don't have to sit back 90 days, 120 days, trying to figure out, am I ever going to get this money?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
I love the fact that you also look at the beginning process. You handle it when it's gone too far, but also you're the person that we can come to and say, now, before I do this, how can I set this up so that I'm not down the line wishing I had set it up?
Yeah.
So the fact that you cover all sides of it, and then maybe when we're ready to have a team of our own, yours, then we can come to you and say, okay, listen, I don't want to tell them how to do it because that's going to feel like third-party information.
Right.
Can you come teach these people?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're the expert. And if we think about corporate America, that's normally what happens.
Exactly.
America says, while we may have 3 or 4 people in the building that know how to do this, we're going to get this person from the outside that this is all they do. This is what they know, inside, outside, backwards and forwards. And we're going to have them come in and tell you how to do this so that when you do it, you'll have that same success story. Like you said, those people are writing you years later going, we've been so successful.
Yeah, that company has never been in the red since when I was only there 3 months. We turned it around. They have never been in the red since. And I was like, man, that was 12 years ago. But the thing is, it speaks to getting it, and that's the thing. It's getting into the weeds, untangling the weeds, getting the weeds clipped, and then setting the processes in place so that it can be successful. And most people are like, why? Well, here's the, again, if you want to grow as a business, it's one of those things. If you don't understand this stuff on the base level, on the ground floor level, you won't get to the bigger places. And the thing is, if you're looking to grow, to what you said, Myra, you may not want to be the person that has, right now you may be the person that has to do all of it. You got to be salesperson, marketing, collections, billing, all that. Eventually I hope that you want to have a team, but understanding what's needed for all those things. And the goal is as fast as you can to be able to outsource it so somebody else can take it over, so you can focus in your lane of genius and do that.
Yes.
And my lane of genius is dealing with collecting money. People are like, I don't know anybody likes to collect money like you. I know, but I'll make it fun.
So let me ask you this, and then we're going to go into like a lightning question round that I love to do.
Okay.
When you were little.
When I was little.
Were you that kid that loved to keep all of your money?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
You were that kid who was like, give me money, and then you tuck it away, and they'd be like, but Dee, you have money. I don't want it then because I need to keep.
Yeah, but I was the kid but with money, but I was more the kid about solving problems. And
Mm.
when I trace why I do what I do, I've always been a process person and a problem solving person. And when I learned, that's how I got into my career, I started doing all of this stuff that I do now. I was a data entry clerk. That's how this all got started. I used to sit for an engineering consulting firm. They gave me stacks of, you remember McCormick and Dodge?
Yes.
Okay, here's how the real deal started. I used to come here in data entry, accounts payable, batches of invoices in McCormick and Dodge on them lines, and you had to total the batch. And if you run the report and fix the errors, that's how this whole thing got started.
And
now,
see, that's the thing that I really want people to be able to see is the fact that, back, even when I was in school and all that, there were certain jobs, like this is what you go to school for. And, I was talking recently with a friend of mine. I said, I know that like in the early 90s, the late 80s, early 90s, the future job was going to be something in political science. You had to be a lawyer or something. So you had to go through the poli-sci track and then go to pre-law and law school and all that. Or you had to go be a doctor and be pre-med, or you went biz admin. And once you did that, then you could move amongst the ranks of an MBA and whatever, right? Or you had to go biz admin to go accounting and move the ranks of, So look, I'm like, I remember this, like it was this. And I was like, but now with not just the influx of entrepreneurs, because I tell people all the time, not everybody is designed to be an entrepreneur, but everybody's designed to be great in whatever it is that they're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
And in that, everybody can't be an entrepreneur. Somebody's got to work in the business, right?
Please do.
Right. Somebody's got to work in the business. So the thing is, being able to have these conversations about where did it all start? What were you thinking? What were you doing? And guess what, everybody? There are options. And if you are an entrepreneur that needs to be a dualpreneur, and you say, hey, I'm an employeepreneur. I'm doing both sides of it.
Absolutely.
Able to connect what you're passionate about and what you love to your career, so that we have less and less people that are sitting in jobs going, oh God, I hate it every day.
Exactly.
Like I'm sitting here, and like you said, you were sitting there doing data entry and you were going down the thing going, there's got to be a solution. Oh, let me figure this out. They're missing this money. Oh, let me figure this out. And so then you start going into that career of, I'm going to figure this out.
And so what's crazy, so I did data entry for 5 weeks, and then I got hired as an accounts payable clerk. And this is where it started. So I'm sitting there, these batches of invoices. So McCormick and Dodge. So I'm sitting there batching, they batch all the invoices, you got the total. So you got to enter all the lines. And if you get a report and something's wrong, you're off. I'm like, okay. So as soon as, and that was the first thing I said, I love figuring out where did I miss it, because once I got it, I fixed it. So I'm a data entry clerk, then I do accounts payable. So that's all the invoicing for everybody who's listening. You're spending your invoicing. So I worked for an engineering consulting firm, and so they dealt with water and wastewater and all things like that. And I met my first contract administrator, and I was like, "What do you do?" And he said, "Everybody in business, every business has those 4 things I talked about. Every business has a sales department. Every business has a major, small and medium and up, has a sales department, a contracts department, invoicing, and receivables." I was like, "So what's the contract administrator do?" He said, "Oh, that person touches all 4 areas." I was like, "Oh, that's cool. I want to learn about that." And he says, "Okay, you do this. You spend a year and you master accounts payable, because if you understand how our invoicing system works, and how when we charge things to the different accounts, the chart of accounts, what account, and if it's wrong and what job, and all, if you learn that, I'll come back and see you in a year." Well, he kept his word. He came back and he got me, and years later, I was a junior contract administrator under him. So he trained me in contracting.
Wow.
So I learned I learned how to assemble a contract, all the components of a contract, all the pieces, blah, blah, blah. So I did that for a year, and then I got promoted. So when I got promoted, I was in the construction division. My team was building a water filtration plant in Hemlock, New York, for the city of Rochester, New York. When I took over this project, you talk about hundreds of thousands of dollars of invoices that had been jacked up for months. Because
yeah, city work always is.
My first day on the job. Welcome to the construction division, D. Yay, we're glad you're here. Here's your first account. City of Rochester is hundreds of thousands of dollars, and the chief engineer is on fire. Excuse me. And he's not paying a dime until all these invoices and all the backups and all the receipts are correct, girl, baby girl.
And you were like, good morning.
Hi. Doing what I just same thing I did for Amherst Technology. Hi, this is D. I just got this account. I understand that there is a huge snafu, blah. I don't know what happened. Yada, yada, yada. Sir, what is your format? Could you please document it, put in an email? I need 30 days to untangle. We're talking about almost $1 million in invoicing that had been jacked up for months because the previous administrator could not get into the weeds. And so that has been the story of my success, has been getting into the weeds. Once I got him and his format, what he wanted, and that done, baby girl, got that on track. And here's another reason why this is so important. At that time, there were primes and subcontractors that were not getting paid. Small businesses. That's why it's so personal to me. And I still have the letter from one of the small subcontractors to this day who said, D, because of you getting in there and figuring out all these invoices and making sure the city paid the primes and the primes paid us, we're in business. And that was life-changing for me. And as it is today, that's where all this comes from. It's because of what happened. It was another small business that wasn't able to take care of its people. When you think about it, if you're a small business owner, you've got employees who have families. Even if it's a family, it's still a family.
Family.
Right. And so when that person, they wrote me the letter and they're like, thank you, Dee, for helping us stay afloat and get our money. And I learned so many valuable lessons. I learned problem solving, building relationships, figuring out the money, figuring out disconnects, dealing with city government, dealing with chiefs, the chief engineer for this entire city, for this entire project. And then I learned that what happened was nobody listened to him. Nobody listened to him. So because he would send stuff back and they would just, I'm like, okay.
And they were just like, nah, whatever.
Right. So once I got him on my side, figured that out, got it worked out. If you Google City of Rochester, Hemlock water filtration plant, Camp Joseph McKee is a company I used to work for. We built that water filtration plant, and I was a contract administrator on that thing. And because of that, and what I learned from the small businesses, I didn't even realize that seed has been planted about why I'm so passionate about making sure they get paid. It's because of what I've done over and over and over again in my career, and obviously what I do with my business. But I keep seeing this theme, and it's like, if you don't get into the weeds and you don't fix it, your people's lives are in the balance. And like I said in the beginning of the conversation, what happened to me personally working for Amherst Technology, that was a small company, less than 100 people. 2 months before Christmas, they're out of business. I'm out of a job. And you keep doing this over and over and over again. I'm like, So that's where it.
Well, I'll be waiting for your book about getting into the weeds, how to help small businesses keep their money. I'm just saying.
We're gonna claim it.
I'm just waiting for the book where you outline that for people about getting into the weeds, because like you said, that is your foundation. You get into the weeds to help small businesses,
not just small, but medium. I
help businesses and governments. Yeah,
I deal with this with government agencies today. I deal with this with large corporations. When I say large corporations, I'm talking about like the IBMs, the BAE systems, and value-added resellers. I mean, it's them and it's the solopreneurs. It's the same thing. It could be $750 or $7 million. It don't matter. It's the same issue.
Like I said, I'll be waiting for this book because I truly believe that is also going to help you explode your platform.
Well, we're gonna talk about that offline.
Yeah, yeah. Look, I'm like, I'm not saying. Yeah, I am. I'm saying it. Listen, you're gonna put it out there. I'm excited about what when it happens too. But I'm gonna ask you these quick questions because I'm excited about what you're doing. I really am. And I love, like I said, even before we started talking, I love how passionate you are about this because it truly shows that you love what you do and you love why you do it.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. So these are just some of our little fun questions I like to ask everybody because it's just that random stuff that will get to know you. So, as an entrepreneur, you probably don't have time to watch movies. You probably are like a lot of us. You watch the beginning one moment, the end another moment, and get to the middle. But what is the last movie that you actually fully watched?
Frozen 2.
Yay, Frozen 2. Yay.
Yeah, Frozen 2.
So also, let's see. Here we go. How do you start your day? Prayer, meditation, coffee, both. What is your process to get your day going?
My process is good morning, God. Thank you for allowing me to see this new day. That's first and foremost. And then, the rest of your stuff. And then downstairs, some meditation, quiet time. And I'm not a coffee person, I'm a tea person. So it's a cup of tea, cup of hot tea. But yeah, definitely about 30 minutes most mornings, quiet time, and then into the day.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, what makes you smile?
Ferris wheels, smooth jazz, and hot air balloon rides. So let me tell you some stories about those. Yes.
Awesome.
All right. So since I was a little girl, I have absolutely loved Ferris wheels. So I've been in Ferris wheels in Boston, New Hampshire, Chicago, Atlanta, and Maryland. I heard there's this phenomenal one called the London Eye over in London, England. I got to get on that one because it's supposed to show the panoramic view of London. It's supposed to be phenomenal. Love Ferris wheels. It's quiet because think about it. I deal with money and problem solving and all kinds of stuff all day. So the quiet of the Ferris wheel, people are like, you're not scared to be on heights? No, because when I tell you my hot air balloon story, you're going to be like, oh, okay, got you. So Ferris wheels are, to me, they're just peaceful and they're fun. And it's just like you just get to sit and just enjoy it. And every single one of them that I've talked about, except for Atlanta, it's been over water, and I love water. So it's like one in Chicago was over the Navy Pier, phenomenal. Chicago skyline over the water. Here in Maryland, they got one National Harbor. You get to see DC, Virginia, and Maryland all in one. I'm like, yes, love Ferris wheels.
Right.
Smooth jazz. Oh my gosh, I've been a smooth jazz fan for forever. So we have something here every June called the Capital Jazz Fest. So most time, I'm out there with my buddies. Love smooth jazz. You can find me at a good jazz show as often as I can. If I can, somebody's coming that I like Norman Brown. Somebody.
Oh,
yeah. He's old school. He's just old school cool.
Yeah.
School cool. So love smooth jazz as often as I can. I'm plugging myself somewhere. The hot air balloons. Most people are like, seriously, Dee? Yeah. So when I turned 40, that's how I celebrated my birthday. So if for those of you listening who watched the Wizard of Oz, that's the whole thing when they put Dorothy up in the balloon and the whole thing. Well, I got to literally put myself in the balloon, actually blow my balloon up, get in the basket. They put the fire on. We up there 5,250 feet in the air, 5-mile radius for an hour and a half. One of the absolute majestic things I have ever done. And that was 18 years ago, and I still feel about it today as I did that day.
You did then. That is awesome. That is, I always like watching the hot air balloons because they're always so.
Albuquerque has the festival.
Yes.
And I said one day I may have to put that on the bucket list to go. But I've already done the balloon ride. But
it's just something about seeing them and kind of like that freedom because you like to be up where you have a panoramic view of things. So I get
parasailing, same thing, done that too.
You like to be up high.
Yeah, so I gotta go skydive. That'll be my next thing.
Oh my goodness! Look, I believe in facing fears or adventures, whatever it is you need to call it. Go for it. necessarily finna skydive with you, but I will cheer you on.
I'm good. Look here, I make sure life insurance policy is paid up and for real.
Right. I'm like, I'll cheer you on. Okay, I have one final question for you.
What's that?
If, and I ask everybody this because it's always this is the answers are always interesting.
Okay.
But if you had to shut down your business today, completely down, what would be your next move? What would be your next career?
Speak. Yeah. If I just shut down BCS Solutions and not offer the consulting around collections and that stuff, I would speak. I would seriously, I would continue to do my day job, and then I would go get trained on how to be a professional speaker, and I'd speak it. I'd still be telling the same stories, but I'd speak.
I love it. And I love the fact that, again, you said the same thing. I would go get trained to do it effectively the best way possible. Because again, the easy road sometimes is go learn how to get on the easy road.
Yeah.
So I love that, and learn how to do it the best for you, because that's the other side of it. People, I was talking with someone actually today, and we were talking about taking the easy road, and I was like, easy road is different for each person. Sometimes what someone else tells you is the easy way to do it is actually harder for you because it doesn't resonate. But if you learn how to do it in the way that you need to do it, you can fly. So I love that. You would get out there and speak, get out and tell all the good stories. And listen, we love a good story. We love a good story, especially when the story is packaged in a way that helps us learn more about us. Because guess what? That's what you've done today. You've helped us learn more about ourselves. Definitely helped me learn some things. Even more. Like I know what you do, but it's always good to learn more about it, right? And see how I can make some tweaks even with how I operate, just from the things that you've said. And also just, again, I keep mentioning it, but just to see your passion behind what you do.
And what also was really cool was how we started. I received the financial flow of abundance.
I was just about to go back into that. Yes. I received the financial flow. I received the financial flow, the flow of financial abundance. Yeah. Flow of financial abundance. And when you make that choice, when you make that decision, then you do start positioning yourself differently. As you've been said, when you went back and ended your business, was also receiving the flow of financial abundance, because you said, you know what, I'm no longer going to be tethered to something that's not working.
Right.
I'm going to position myself differently. And then when I'm ready, I'm going to make another choice to receive the flow of financial abundance by putting myself in an educational space to learn how to do this the right way. I'm going to put myself in a position where I can talk to the right people and do all the things that I need to do. And I'm going to keep my 9-to-5 job because I don't ever want to be in a position where I get into a lack mentality and attach that to my business.
Right.
Especially because you're in money, but because all of us, we all have to take those things into consideration as we flow in whatever our giftings are, and whatever. Because we've all been guilty of it. We've all heard those things of, oh no, quit your day job and go over here. And that
I would tell anybody. I would tell anybody. I know people tell you to go jump. I'm going to tell you, don't.
Right.
Unless you have a plan, have savings for 3 to 6 to 9 to 12 months.
Yeah.
If you are in relationship with somebody and they are okay with this, and while you're figuring this out, they can still help you maintain your life. Because I get it that you want to jump out there and go for it. Now, there are some people that have been able to totally jump and be successful. I don't recommend that. They're like, oh, you're scared. No, I'm not scared. It's just the fact that I feel like you need to make smart decisions. I think the word talks about get wisdom, and then your wisdom, and then your understanding. I think it's in your what is it? Get knowledge, and then your knowledge, get understanding. Something like that. It talks about it in Proverbs. Yeah. So basically, what I'm saying is this: if you wish to start a business while you're listening to this, great. You do need to learn the fundamentals of business.
Yeah.
If you don't know what they are, you can get a book. You can Google it. Yes, you can YouTube it. There's nothing. Me personally, I'm old school. There's you can go take a class at a community college to get the foundation. Number one, if you have a day job and you want to what the kids call the side hustle, that's fine. BCS, hey, I got a day job and I have a side hustle. Yep, certainly do. And I'll continue to have that until God changes it so that BCS Solutions is my full thing and I can fully walk away from my day job. But until I can, I still honor my day job. That's why I do what I do. And then when I finish, I go back and do my stuff. But yeah, and you also need to, plan. I think a lot of people jump out here and you don't have a plan. Like, what are you doing?
Right.
I mean, you might be able to fry fish really great, braid hair really great, whatever you do really great. But do you know the foundation of business? Like, for example, here's a note. If you were going to start a business, do you have a name of a business? Do you have what's called the Articles of Organization, which is the LLC? Do you have the EIN, which stands for Employer Identification Number, or your EIN number? Do you have a business bank account? Because you can't be commingling your personal funds and your business funds. Separate but equal. You have to do those things. You also need to have an accountant to help you get stuff set up. We've got there's myself, there's Coach Myra, there's tons of people that can go over the details with what you need. You can Google start a business. They even got a simple checklist. You can mark it up and make sure you have it. Depending upon what you do, you may need a license. You need to check to find out whether you have to be licensed to do what you do. And you might need some insurance because you could make a mistake and it could be costly. Just saying.
Just saying. Because again, it's not just good to get money. It's good to keep it. It's good.
It's important. You protect yourself.
And a lot of people don't walk through that process. A lot of business coaches don't walk through that process because they've never gone through that process. And there's a lot of what I call inbred cousinry.
Excuse me. Okay.
Where cousinry.
Cousinry. Get it correct, Dee. Cousinry.
Inbred cousinry. Where
that's a whole nother level. That's like,
because essentially what happens is I started my business and I'm teaching other people how to start a business, but I didn't start mine right. So I'm just teaching you the things that I think worked for me, even if I'm not on the right track. We've got a bunch of folks out here that are passing along information, but then telling the people that are following them, oh no, but what they're doing isn't right. And what has happened is all the foundational things that you just stated, there are a bunch of folks that are sitting back going, oh no, you could do it without that. Don't worry about that.
Yeah. And then when the IRS decides to come audit you and you deal with your funds and you don't have any receipts to prove what you did, you're not registered legally to do business. I don't know. Maybe you like them little little silver bracelets. I don't. That's not my style. And then the orange is the new whatever color it is next. I'm not.
And listen, many of us don't have the option of fleeing the country to some place that doesn't extradite.
No. So here's a tip. If you're while you're listening, if you're in the startup phase, you're already started your business. If you're listening and you're going, I don't know what any of that stuff is, you could always, you can find me on Facebook, message me, and we can talk about it. But here's some things for you in terms of collecting your cash. In order to be in business legitimately, you need to have articles of organization, which means you're the name of your business and it's an LLC. Number two, you need to have a employer EIN number, which means you have a number from the IRS that tells them who you are and your name, address, and then that number is tied to you. It's kind of like your social security number for your business.
And it is free to get.
Absolutely free to get. It's free to get. Third, business banking account. You can open them up with a credit union. I think it's $5, $25, something simple. The point is to keep it separate. PayPal is not a business. It's not a business banking account. It's a process to move money. It's not a bank. Business banking, business checking account, legitimate. Yeah, and then insurance.
And then
in your state, if you're a hairdresser, you probably have to have a license. If you do nails,
yeah,
you have a license. If you're a barber, you have a license.
license, yeah.
If you have to, if you need to get a license, get your license. Be legal.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, don't feel like you have to get everything right away. You can get the checklist and go down the checklist. And if you've made some mistakes, it's good time to course correct. We're in Q1 2020. Good time to course correct.
Yeah, good time to course correct. And I love that you said that, because again, nobody's condemning anybody.
Not at all.
Because for many of us, when we started our businesses, we had a great idea.
Yep.
We felt like we needed to put it out there. And so we went out there to do it.
Yep.
Then it turned into, I have to what?
Yeah. Ooh, what's that?
What's that? What does that mean? And it doesn't mean that even if you've been in business 5 years and you've never done it, then guess what? Now is the perfect time.
Yeah, course correct.
To get it all back together and in proper alignment, because it just makes things so much easier in the long run to have a good foundation. And guess what? Sometimes, just like with an old house, you got to go back and correct the foundation. You can go back and correct the foundation now too. So it all works out. Well, Dee, listen, I could talk to you forever.
This has been so fun.
This has been amazing.
Absolutely.
And look, we probably just have to bring you right back on another time so you can talk to the people and make sure, like, kind of like that reminder thing.
Yep.
A reminder. Are you out here?
Come back at the end of Q2.
Yeah. It'd be like
we'll come back once a quarter and talk about these things. Just kind of check up. It's like, hey, are you
circle back? Yeah. What are you doing? I know you said the book. What is the best way to reach you? Let me say that and have you put that on camera.
Okay, best way to reach me on Facebook. It's Dee Bowden. As a matter of fact, for all the listeners, I have a free gift. I come bearing gifts.
We love free gifts.
Y'all can get here's a gift. It's called Collect the Cash. It's a free ebook. Go to www.collectthecash.biz. www.collectthecash.biz. It's my website. Halfway down, you should see a book. It's a picture of a book that says Collect the Cash. Put your first name, last name, email, and hit subscribe, and you'll get a free copy of Collect the Cash. It's 5 ways to collect your money. It's my personal process and how I collect money, what I do. Free gift.
Awesome.
So Facebook is Dee Bowden. Instagram is it's Bowden D. LinkedIn, Collect the Cash, but everything is Collect the Cash, Dee Bowden. It's all intertwined with it. But yeah, that's how you find me. Again, www.collectthecash.biz. www.collectthecash.biz.
Let's see. Let's try this. Let me see if I can make this happen. Let me see something here.
Yeah.
So yes, please go and visit that link, collectthecash.biz, because you need to get your free gift, because you need to get these principles, and it's a checklist, right? That's what you said. You need to get this checklist.
Yes, it's the ebook. It gives you the 5 steps. It talks about tracking payments, identifying your easy accounts. It gives you all the great things I've learned, really condensed. It gives you step by step, and there's a little notebook so you can take notes. And if you got questions, you can reach out to me and say, "Hey, Dee, I don't understand this point." You reach out to me. You can talk to me about it. You're free, no problem. Glad to help.
Awesome. Listen, 2020, we're doing things different, you guys. This is the setup. Differently. We got to do things differently. And if you have the information, I know they always say, well, when you know better, you do better, but not always. But when you have access to knowing better, then that means you have access to doing better. And it's just up to you to choose.
Make the decision. Make
a good decision. Yes.
Make a decision, and then choose to manage your decision. And I promise you, if you make the decision and then you choose to manage your decision, you will look at your life a year from now. You're gonna be like, my stars.
Yes.
Look at how much things have
Look
changed.
at what has happened in my life and how I was, because this is the thing. At any given moment, our choice could take us from here to greatness.
Speaking of that, to your point, when you were reading my bio, let me share this with y'all. A year ago, I would have never thought I would be sharing a digital or any other kind of stage with Iyanla Van Zant,
Okay.
Gloria Mayfield Banks, Robin Robbins from Good Morning America, or Lisa Nichols. That was 1 year ago. But you know how it got started? I made a decision to talk about what I love doing, which is collections. Me sharing my story about collections and God blessing the works of my hands, opening the doors. Because we started off by saying, faith without works is dead.
Exactly. Whew, on that note, listen, we're going to get out of here. I thank you so much.
Me too. Thank you so much. This was fun.
This was so fun. This was so fun. I'm so excited about what's to come. I speak blessings over you.
I receive them.
I totally believe. Thank you. And look, I receive them back.
You need it. Come on.
I believe that God has some mighty powerful things. He's already done some amazing things, but we decided to show up. I think I know there are some amazing things that are coming forward that you're going to see this year that you're going to see and be like, if you just want to keep blowing my mind, God, I'm fine with it.
Right. Any way you want to bless me, I'm good with it.
I'm good with it. Right. So for those of you that are here with us, remember, receive the flow of your financial abundance. Let's stop being afraid of asking for our money, whether it's during the sale or after the sale. Don't be afraid to ask for your money. It's yours, right? It's yours.
And don't forget this: the sale is not complete until the money is in the bank.
Say that again.
The sale is not. As a matter of fact, you need to put that in. Can you put that in the scroll?
Right. Yeah. I'm like, I feel that. Yeah.
The sale is not complete until the money is in the bank. Exclamation point.
Let's see. Oh.
The sale is not complete until the money is in the bank. Exclamation point.
Let's scroll. As a matter of fact, we're not even going to scroll that. We're just going to put that really big just right there.
There you go. Perfect. I love it. That's it. Because that's everything I've been talking about. That's it. And here's the thing. Most people can relate to it like this. People are like, well, Dee, I don't have a lot of sales. Well, here's the thing. Yeah, you do. Because on a personal tip, you know how this is true? Every time you go to a store, I don't care what store you go to, you use your debit card, your MasterCard, American Express, whatever. You're waiting for these two magical words: transaction approved. Translation: the sale is complete and the money is in the bank.
Money's in the bank.
If you're sitting there doing one of these, you might be a little nervous, but you want to make sure you wait for that thing to say transaction approved.
Transaction approved.
The sale is complete and the money, and they took the money from your bank account, and then you get to walk out the store with your product or your service.
Right. That is awesome. Well, thank you so much. I look forward to further conversations and future conversations. And we will, for those of you that have been in attendance, thank you so much. For those of you that are catching us on the replay, please leave comments. Please leave comments and let us know how you enjoyed this particular episode, how you feel about it. If you are going out there, making sure the sale is complete because the money is in the bank. And again, I appreciate you for catching us on the Setup Show here, Smile, Empower, Thrive, here on the Empowered Smiles TV. We're here every Thursday for this particular episode, but you can catch additional videos weekly. Make sure to subscribe. I think the little thing is there somewhere around here, and hit the notification bell so that you know when we're live. All right. Thank you so much. And remember, smile the person in the mirror, because that allows that person to have the empowerment and the permission to smile at others around and help make the world a better place. And just go out there today and choose to make this day smile worthy.
Smile worthy. All right. Cheers.